outside right now as we have pretty good weather sitting at 51 degrees for now, which will seem very hot by this time next week as we're getting ready by Monday of next week to see 18 degrees as the high, everyone. And again, some accumulating snow in between. So be safe. We'll be back here with you tomorrow at 1 o'clock and we'll be on the air again until 4 p.m. Thanks for tuning in.
Live from Chicago, this is Fox 32 News at 4.
Right now at 4, recent crimes reigniting a debate over electronic monitoring.
Congress is hearing the calls of mothers in need. The bill being introduced in response to a viral video of a woman forced from a hospital while in active labor.
Plus, pack your bags. Airports and roads are filling up as Americans look to get away for the Thanksgiving holiday. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Sylvia Perez.
I'm Scott Shining in for Terrence, and weather is first at 4. Temps are falling.
Yeah, there's also a possibility of some snow tonight. As we take a live look outside at the bean, lots of people out there. You still see those fall colors. And Emily, I was still pleasantly surprised when I was out this afternoon. It's not too bad yet, but that's about to change, huh?
That is about to change. So out there right now, we still have temperatures that are in the 50s, but we have so many different things to tell you about over the next 4 to 5 days or so that we're going to be dealing with. First and foremost, we have a cold front that's coming through tonight that's going to send temperatures tumbling tonight into tomorrow. We have scattered snow showers, and it's also going to get very windy. So the entire area now has a wind advisory that's going into effect at 3 a.m. That's going to last until 9 p.m. tomorrow for westerly winds as high as about 50 miles per hour. So we could occasionally have a couple damaging wind gusts that we need to look out for tomorrow. And of course, that could be impacting some air travel that we're going to have to watch out for as well, just because of how high those winds are going to be. And also with those scattered snow showers, then we're also going to be dealing with some reduced visibilities at times tomorrow too. And then this weekend, models are trending like we're going to be seeing accumulating snowfall, which could be creating additional travel issues for those of you that have travel plans Saturday and Sunday. Details coming up.
Well, flight delays and cancellations at Chicago airports at a minimum today. 230 delays reported at O'Hare, 16 cancellations, while at Midway, 36 flights delayed today, no cancellations. Thanksgiving, of course, considered the busiest travel holiday of the year. We're going to have more on this a little later in the hour.
Wisconsin authorities now have 30 days to pick up the woman convicted of the 2014 Slender Man stabbing from a Cook County jail.
Don Hasbrook has the latest from the newsroom.
Thank you both. Morgan Geyser has waived her extradition just days after escaping her group home in northern Wisconsin. According to police, Geyser cut off her GPS monitoring bracelet Saturday night and traveled over 165 miles with a 43-year-old companion before being found by police sleeping outside of a truck stop. In newly released body cam video, you can see Geyser refusing to identify herself.
I did something wrong.
What did you do?
She doesn't know what I did.
Okay, that's fine. I ain't.
Let me talk to you again. Okay, I'll put you back.
What is it that you did wrong?
I did something really wrong.
So Morgan is your first name, right?
Yes.
G-E-Y-S-E-R.
No.
Let me say goodbye, please.
Okay, we will.
I will never see her again.
Yeah, you will.
No, I won't.
304.
The two reportedly became friends at church and were allowed to see each other every day for the past month. They say they fled in fear of being separated. In 2014, Geyser and her friend lured one of their classmates to a Waukesha park and stabbed her 19 times to appease a fictional character. The victim survived. Both Geyser and the other woman were ultimately committed to a state mental institution. Geyser, at the age of 23, won conditional release this past September after 4 requests and was placed in that group home.
She's lost all of her trust that she's built up over the years with her counselors, with the doctors, with the court. She is likely going to have a very difficult time convincing anyone in the near future that she's safe to be returned to the community again.
It will be up to Department of Health Services whether they file a petition to revoke her conditional release. We are certainly hopeful that they do proceed with that. We fully support it.
Geyser could also face new charges in connection with her escape now. That decision rests with Dane County prosecutors. As for her friend, that person has been charged with trespassing and obstruction. Back to you.
Chicago police charging 3 teenage boys with the murder of a man in the Loop. Investigators say that man stabbed to death early Sunday morning in the 200 block of South Wabash. It is believed the victim was homeless. The suspects, 2 14-year-olds and a 16-year-old. Now, this stabbing coming on the heels of a deadly shooting in the Loop involving teenagers on Friday. Just hours after the city's holiday tree lighting ceremony, a 14-year-old boy was shot and killed during a massive teen takeover that turned into chaos. 7 others were injured. In response, 2 aldermen are calling for change. 2nd Ward Alderman Brian Hopkins wants his curfew ordinance revisited. Meanwhile, 6th Ward Alderman William Hall says he plans to introduce an ordinance that would require social media platforms to cooperate with the city when posts promoting illegal teen gatherings are identified.
And in this situation, they did not do their job. If the safety guidelines are not being adhered to, then where's the accountability and responsibility on the companies? We have a very 5-star approach to cybersecurity. We want to lift up our police officers. And if the police are asking for help and the police are not getting help, then how can we serve and protect efficiently?
No arrests have been made in Friday's shooting. Cook County Crime Stoppers now offering a $10,000 reward for information leading to an arrest and conviction. The Youth, Peace and Justice Foundation also offering a reward of up to $5,000.
And the high-profile recent violent crime in the Loop, including the CTA arson attack, has led to renewed criticism of Cook County's criminal justice system.
Some local officials are now questioning why the suspect in that case was out on home confinement for previous criminal charges rather than in a jail awaiting trial.
Paris is here with more on this. Paris.
Yeah, Sylvia and Scott, a lot of this boils down to the county's home detention or electronic monitoring program, and depending on who you talk to, it's in crisis right now, and it's undergoing a major transition. And it is one of the reasons that CTA arson suspect Lawrence Reed was out on an ankle monitor awaiting trial for his previous aggravated battery charges. Now, today we are learning that county prosecutors forcefully argued that Reed be in jail awaiting that trial, but a judge ordered him onto home confinement instead on Chief Judge Tim Evans's adult probation program. Now, CWB Chicago reported Reed had violated his curfew, wasn't even supposed to be out on the street when that alleged arson took place. And in an internal memo that we obtained today, Cook County State's Attorney Eileen O'Neill Burke called this attack a, quote, punch to the gut, and praised prosecutors who, quote, not only established that the individual was a clear danger to the community, but when the judge denied the petition to detain, she took the mandatory objection language and added a byline summation of why he did present a danger. So this is where all this gets tricky. So there are 2 separate home confinement programs. One's run by the sheriff's office. According to recent data, there are currently nearly 1,200 people out on electronic monitoring, many for serious crimes, including 90 charged with attempted murder and 92 charged with aggravated gun possession. But the sheriff struck an agreement to end his program. He is in the midst of transitioning all of this to the chief judge's office, who's complained he has no law enforcement arm that can actually do anything if someone violates their ankle monitor. Now, currently on the chief judge's program, there are 1,260 offenders, including 208 for aggravated unlawful use of a weapon, 2 for reckless homicide, and 11 people charged with attempted murder that are home. on electronic monitoring that are free to roam around throughout the day. They just have to be home by curfew. Now, the sheriff's is more severe, where they cannot leave their home, and sheriff's police then can track down offenders if they are in violation. But Sheriff Darts complained he doesn't believe he could administer this program anymore because there are too many violent offenders, as we mentioned, that get put on the program and diverted from jail. Scott, we are seeing case after case of someone that was on electronic monitoring in this program that is hodgepodge and undergoing transition, and something that appears to be in crisis right now.
Has a lot of people outraged, Paris. All right, thank you for that report. A large settlement in the village of Oak Lawn in a lawsuit brought by a man whose encounter with police was caught on camera. It was brought by Hadi Abutala, who was 17 in July of 2022. His arrest video showing officers repeatedly punching him. Oak Lawn police stopped his car, but they say instead of following orders, he fled the scene with a loaded gun and resisted arrest. He filed lawsuits against the officers in the village, claiming more than $1 million in damages. The village board approved a settlement of $825,000. They say it was not because of the merits of the case, but rather because of the village's insurance carrier pushing for the settlement. The village will pay $250,000 in insurance, or rather $250,000. Insurance will pay the rest.
A viral video is now prompting change on Capitol Hill. It is a story Fox 32 has been closely following. A Dalton woman turning away from a hospital while in active labor. Mercedes Wells gave birth to her fourth child just minutes after leaving the hospital in her truck on the side of the road with just her husband by her side. Today, however, she has Illinois Congresswoman Robin Kelly standing with her, announcing the Wells Act.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for...
So this bill would actually require any hospital that provides obstetric emergency or labor and delivery service to have a safe discharge labor plan before discharging a patient who presents signs or symptoms of labor. We'll have more on this story later on the news at 5 as well.
All right, well, it started with an ache here, a pain there, but always dismissed as growing pains.
Coming up, a story about advocating for yourself, how a mother and daughter discovered they were both battling a rare cancer.
Chicago Archdiocese facing new lawsuits accusing the church of being a predator pipeline.
And the FBI is requesting to interview 6 Democratic lawmakers accused of sedition.
Fox.
Well, during the war in Ukraine, we've seen nearly 4 years of failed peace plans, blueprints, and high-level summits, and now the Ukrainians are reportedly ready to sign a peace deal. This brokered deal brought by the U.S. with Russia, the original plan would reportedly require Ukraine to give up more territory to Russia, grant amnesty to Russians accused of war crimes, and agree to never join NATO. However, a U.S. official telling Fox News after some fine-tuning, the Ukrainians are on board, with minor details still to be sorted out. The same cannot be said, though, for Russian President Vladimir Putin, who sent 22 missiles and 460 drones into Kyiv overnight, killing as many as 7 people.
Do you actually want to end this war, or is he going to continue to kill as many people as necessary until he can conquer Ukraine and drag it back under the Kremlin?
Russia reportedly favored the original deal. It could be difficult to convince Putin to accept the negotiated changes. A Ukrainian official says Volodymyr Zelensky will head to the U.S. to finalize a deal directly with President Trump.
The FBI and the Pentagon started probing the 6 Democratic lawmakers who told U.S. troops to defy illegal orders in a video posted online last week.
Anna Eliopoulos has more.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
The fallout continues for these 6 Democratic lawmakers who told U.S. troops to defy illegal orders in a video posted online last week. Monday, the Pentagon announced it's opening an investigation into Senator Mark Kelly over possible breaches of military law. Defense Chief Pete Hegseth writing online, the video made by the seditious 6 was despicable, reckless, and false. The White House also weighed in.
You can't have a functioning military if there's disorder and chaos within the ranks, and that's what these Democrat members were encouraging.
But Kelly, a former astronaut and war hero, doubled down, releasing his own statement saying in part, quote, "If this is meant to intimidate me and other members of Congress from doing our jobs and holding this administration accountable, it won't work. I've given too much to this country to be silenced by bullies who care more about their own power than protecting the Constitution." Tuesday, the FBI reportedly began its own probe, scheduling interviews on Capitol Hill with all 6 lawmakers.
To be honest, the president's reaction and the use of the FBI against us is exactly why we made the video. He believes in using the federal government against his perceived adversaries.
Anna Eliopoulos, Fox 32 Chicago.
Well, millions of Americans are hitting the rails, roads, and skies this Thanksgiving holiday, but a massive winter storm could impact travel plans.
Well, it's already hit this morning in Atlanta after a thunderstorm struck that area. According to FlightAware, more than 2,000 flights delayed, several dozen canceled by this afternoon. Impact minimal here in Chicago. That's the good news. However, those numbers are expected to climb as lake effect takes effect here in the Midwest and Northeast over the Thanksgiving holiday.
So you might be wondering what this is going to mean for you. Well, let's first of all start by getting in this live look outside. Not bad, really.
Terrible.
Very pretty, right? Maybe not a ton of sunshine, but not a bad day. But a lot of people, as we said, hitting the streets and flying. What can they expect? I guess it depends on where they're going, huh, Emily?
It depends on where they're going, but we actually have a lot to break down here locally as well. So first thing that's going to happen is we have cold air that's going to come rushing in tonight, and then that's going to set the tone for the rest of this Thanksgiving holiday right on through this weekend, and then it gets even colder going into early next week. So we have this polar vortex that I'm sure you're familiar with when you hear that term. We have that polar air that's going to begin to invade the area beginning tonight, lasting through tomorrow, and again into early next week. So that's number one that we're going to be dealing with is the cold. But 2, we have a lot of wind that's coming on the backside of this low pressure system. So tonight into tomorrow, we actually have a wind advisory for the entire area for westerly winds that could be as high as about 50 miles per hour as far as wind gusts are concerned. So again, very windy tonight and through the day tomorrow. And we're also going to be adding in some scattered snow showers tomorrow, which means reduced visibilities for those of you that have travel plans tomorrow. Now, it's going to be very scattered in nature. It's not going to be a widespread snow event. But again, for those of us dealing with even flurries or light snow showers, once you factor in the winds, we're going to be seeing reduced visibilities. Your temperatures outside right now, still pleasant. We're sitting right around 50 degrees tonight. We're dropping down to about 34, but This is also about your daytime high temperatures for tomorrow as well. On top of that, here's that wind advisory again for the entire area, going into effect tonight at 3 a.m., lasting until 9 p.m. tomorrow for those strong westerly winds. Your 5-day forecast tomorrow, that 43 that you see on Wednesday's high temperature, that's going to be around where we are at midnight tonight. Then we drop into the 30s. Wind chill temps are going to be in the teens and low 20s tomorrow. Then on Thursday and Friday, dry skies for travelers, but Saturday and Sunday, accumulating snowfall could be slowing down travel. So if you're planning on heading back to the city or the Chicagoland area, or maybe you're heading out, we could be dealing with more delays into the weekend. Back to you.
All right. Thanks, Emily. Thanksgiving week means you probably have visitors in town, and maybe you're trying to decide what to do to entertain them.
We're taking you to a winter wonderland at Wrigley that will put everyone in the holiday spirit.
And speaking of the holiday spirit, how about getting around town on Santa's coolest ride? Take a look at this. We're taking you on a trip on the Allstate CTA Holiday Bus.
And believe it or not, your Thanksgiving meal may actually cost you less this year. Yeah, we'll tell you why.
Today we continue a time-honored American tradition. Boy, that's a well-trained turkey. See how happy he is?
Yep, these turkeys are skipping out on dinner with the presidential pardon. A decades-long tradition continues at the White House, and today, President Trump pardoning Waddle and Gobble. The birds hail from North Carolina and will now live out their days in Minnesota as agricultural educational ambassadors. This holiday tradition dates back to 1947 when President Truman was in office.
Well, you might also catch a break this Thanksgiving. According to some new numbers from the American Farm Bureau Federation, the average cost of a classic feast for 10 is down for a third straight year.
Oliviana Colmays went to a local market where one farmer says demand for fresh turkeys has been strong all week. Oliviana.
John, Scott, good evening. Well, the farmer I spoke with said that this season has already been better than last year. In fact, he sells hundreds of turkeys, and they're all sold out now just a couple days ahead of Thanksgiving. Now, overall, we're looking at prices from the Farm Bureau saying the average for a Thanksgiving meal is down about 5% from last year, mostly because of falling turkey prices. Supermarket turkeys are down more than 16%, and some other favorites like dinner rolls, stuffing are also down, but not everything is less expensive this year. Prices for items like veggie trays, frozen peas, milk, and even pumpkin pie mix are actually up from last Thanksgiving. If you came to the market today hoping to get a fresh bird from the Har family farms, you were out of luck. The owner here says stubbornly high feed costs kept him from lowering prices this season, but he says he's finally starting to see some of those costs come down.
As far as pricing goes, it's coming down. The costs were very high last year for the food to feed these guys. We've had to increase prices pretty much every year since 2020. I'm really optimistic that next year prices will be lower.
Now, you talked about the turkey pardoning. That one he was holding, his name's Tom. That's another turkey that's getting pardoned this year. He's a very happy turkey for that. Retail data shows, though, that families are choosing to do Thanksgiving smaller and simpler this year, even with some of those lower prices that we're seeing. In St. Louis, Oliviana Calmes, Fox 32, Chicago.
Well, on Wall Street, stocks rallied big time on December rate cut optimism after a slate of delayed economic data was released. Retail sales rising 0.2% in September from August. Producer prices ticking up 0.3%. That was in line with forecasts. And that is among the last inflation readings before the Fed's rate decision in December.
Coming up, controversy at Campbell's Soup. Their slogan may be good, but a secretly recorded tape is stirring up a scandal that is anything but.
Have a great day. That led to a greeter here at Chili's being attacked by an angry mob, and it was all caught on camera. I'm Tia Ewing. That story coming your way next.
If you want total health care from a provider you trust,
hi, Blair.
Right in the palm of your hand, if you want soup, sweatpants, and zero in-person contact. If you want wellness wherever, our virtual primary care delivers with great website manner.
No worries.
So choose your doctor from our profiles and enjoy the healthiest online relationship you've ever had. House calls have evolved. Advocate Healthcare. When you say
Right now at the bottom of the hour, high winds moving in. Emily has a chilly forecast.
A predator pipeline, accusations of abuse outlined in new lawsuits against the Chicago Archdiocese.
A restaurant greeter in Chicago attacked, all caught on camera. The 19-year-old says she was just following company policy.
But common courtesy left her punched, kicked, and hair ripped from her scalp. Tia has the story you will only see here on Fox 32.
Common courtesy from a greeter inside this Chili's is what set this entire incident in motion.
They're hitting me in my head, they're hitting me in my body, they're hitting me everywhere.
It started last week when a group known only as J Party of 6 didn't like the wait time.
Get sad, I said it's going to be another 30 minutes. They were upset. They started yelling. They were like 30 minutes and like just being aggressive.
As they walked out, Brianna Drew said the same line she gives every customer.
They decided they were going to leave. I was like, all right, you all enjoy the rest of your day. And they assumed that I was being sarcastic and trying to like play with them. But I was just, that's brand standard.
But Fox Chicago obtained video showing what happened next. A brutal beating inside the Chili's at Marshville Plaza, located in the 1700 block of West 119th Street.
The rest of her party, they came rushing back in the restaurant, and they all kind of just attacked me.
The 19-year-old single mother was first hit by a woman, and then a man joined in. What do you see when you look at this?
Chaos. It was a lot. I don't even remember all of this happening.
Chicago police were called, but by the time officers arrived, the attackers were gone. The damage, physical and emotional, is not.
Because my head was so sore, I couldn't touch it to take out my hair. And then I have more back here.
Drew has worked at this location for 2 years. She's been off the job for a week, trying to process what happened, and says Chili's needs to add security.
I just want to know, how will they move forward? How will they fix that? How will they avoid that happening again?
We reached out to Chili's for a comment, and so far, we haven't heard back. As for Drew, she's bruised but not broken.
At no point did I threaten anyone. At no point did I say that I was going to do anything. I was quiet. They could have just left, but they came. They all decided to come back in and attack me.
And says she did nothing wrong and wants J Party of 6 to be arrested and charged.
I can't believe it's something like this happened to me, because if you ask anybody, I'm nice. Everybody says I'm nice. The regulars, they love me.
As for Brianna Drew, she says that Chili's is conducting their own investigation, and Chicago police are too. From Morgan Park, Tia Ewing, Fox 32 Chicago.
We're learning more about that teen shot and killed during a teen takeover in the Loop.
Leslie Moreno spoke to the founder of Project Swish, a nonprofit that keeps children off the streets. Leslie, what can you tell us?
Hey guys, good evening. Yeah, Armani joined that nonprofit about 2 years ago. The founder says the entire team is absolutely devastated. He says Armani was a very bright kid who loved to play basketball. Police say Armani was downtown Friday night when a large group of teens gathered here in the Loop. Gunfire broke out near the Chicago Theater, injuring several teens. Less than an hour later, more shots were fired blocks away. That's where Armani was hit. He later died at the hospital. Armani was part of Project Swish, a foundation that utilizes sports to keep kids off the streets. The founder of the program says Armani was a good kid whose life was just getting started.
He was a super bright kid. I was watching his father's interview yesterday, and his father mentioned that he had a 3.7, GPA. He was a scholar, very funny, very charismatic, very competitive. Really, really talented basketball player as well. It feels deflating, it almost feels like I created these safe spaces to make sure that this doesn't happen, and kids that are still a part of the program on a regular basis, like they still fall victim to this.
Nelson says he promised Armani a pair of shoes this Christmas, and he plans to keep that promise. In honor of him, he'll be giving every teen that played with Armani at the Nash Community Center a pair of shoes this holiday. Nelson also tells me he has been in touch with some of Armani's family, and it appears that the city is involved and will be assisting with funeral expenses. He also spoke with Armani's father over the phone. He says Armani was just down here with friends to have a good time. He says what happened here is an absolute tragedy. For now, reporting live here in the Loop, Leslie Moreno, Fox 32 Chicago.
Thank you, Leslie. Well, the Archdiocese of Chicago coming under fire for another round of allegations lodged in recently filed court documents.
3 new lawsuits accuse the church of acting as a predator pipeline and covering up for 2 local priests despite past abuse allegations.
The victims alleging that Father Daniel Mark Holohan and Father John William Curran groomed them through extra attention and private meetings when they were students in the 80s. They say it ultimately led to repeated sexual abuse. At the time, the victims attended Quigley Preparatory Seminary and St. Christina Catholic School. Court documents also claim they found out later that credible reports of prior abuse were documented within the Archdiocese.
Instead of removing these priests immediately, what they would do is they would bounce them from parish to parish, as we talked about. So what do I hope comes forward? I hope they stop the pedophile pipeline for these priests, for these problem priests who are serial abusers who continue to do it after they're moved from parish to parish.
In a statement, the Archdiocese did not confirm or deny these allegations. It simply said that it can't comment on pending legal cases and confirmed that both priests are dead.
Now to the controversy at Campbell's Soup, a vice president reportedly making offensive comments about company employees, customers, even their own food. The exec was secretly recorded during a meeting, and according to a new lawsuit filed in Michigan, that suit filed by a former employee who said he was fired after he reported the conversation to his own supervisor. The executive allegedly saying that the company's products were for poor people and made derogatory comments about Indian coworkers. The Attorney General in Florida has launched an investigation into the company because of comments suggesting the use of lab-grown meat, which is banned in 7 states, including Florida and Indiana. A spokesperson for the company says the executive has been placed on temporary leave while they conduct an internal investigation.
Governor Pritzker is asking the Trump administration to reconsider its FEMA denial. Nearly 438,000 residents across the state, including Chicago, had to deal with damage during heavily fallen rain in certain areas in July and August. The state's initial FEMA request was denied last month.
All of this coming as the nation is eyeing potential weather that could disrupt holiday travel. Locally, there is a chance for snowfall overnight. So, Emily, you were talking last night about that sort of blue dome that was heading our way. So we know for a fact temperatures are falling.
Temperatures are falling, but on top of that cold air that's going to be moving in, it's going to get very windy, and that's going to help to bring any snow shower activity that we have tonight and early tomorrow and make those visibilities significantly reduced. So for those of you that have travel plans tomorrow, again, just know that it could be a slow go at times when you do get trapped underneath a couple of those snow showers, because we're going to have westerly winds that are gusting as high as about 45 to 55 miles per hour. Right now, here's the view. A lot of people out there enjoying the city right now. 51 degrees still, so you really wouldn't know that all of this cold air is just right around the corner, because tonight we're dropping down into the 30s. But once you factor in the high winds, again, we do have that wind advisory going into effect at 3 a.m. lasting until 9 p.m. tomorrow. That's going to send wind chill temperatures down into the teens and 20s tomorrow. Forecast low temperatures tonight. We're going down to the low to mid 30s. Tomorrow, that high of 43, that's where we're going to be at midnight. Daytime temps only in the 30s, scattered snow showers, then dry skies for Thursday and Friday, but highs only in the low 30s. Back to you.
Local leaders celebrating the landmark public transit legislation that recently passed. Several state reps in the Illinois Clean Jobs Coalition joining the mayor of Geneva at a press conference today. Lawmakers passing the North Illinois Transit Authority Act, as we reported this month. This bill replaces the RTA with the new North Illinois Transit Authority. And this new agency unifies and manages the CTA, PACE, and Metra. Lawmakers say the $1.5 billion investment will help improve the rider experience here in the city and in the burbs.
Riders are finally going to be able to move through the system with one card, one schedule, and one reliable network. That means shorter commutes, less time waiting, and more time at home with our families.
Before the bill had passed, the RTA was facing a budget shortfall of more than $200 million, which could have led to major service cuts.
Cook County unveiling major upgrades to the Park Forest firefighter training site. Board President Tony Preckwinkle and Congresswoman Robin Kelly were there for the ribbon-cutting ceremony this morning. The training site got a new water main along with upgrades to the outside and inside of the building. The funds came from the Build Up Cook program. The Park Forest Fire Chief says these upgrades will help give the area better firefighters.
You see, training is the backbone of our profession. From the first day we start in the service until we retire, the expectation is to train. Our dream is to provide an exceptional training environment for not only the Southland, but the Chicagoland region.
$500,000 was allocated for this project. The county says the upgrades came in, that is, under budget.
Well, it seems these days like just about every family, every friend group is impacted by cancer, and this might just explain why. According to a new Gallup poll, some 10% of American adults have reported a cancer diagnosis within their lifetime. That's the highest rate since the organization began tracking cancer cases 17 years ago. Researchers believe that part of the increase is due to people living longer after their diagnosis, thanks to new treatments that have either slowed the cancer or put them into remission.
And coming up after the break, a reminder that your best medical advocate is you.
Yeah, we're going to introduce you to a mom and her daughter. They thought it was everyday aches and pains until it wasn't. Their rare but inspiring cancer journey is next.
You could be driving.
Welcome back. It's 4:41. A mother and her daughter shrugged off everyday aches until those aches pointed to something unexpected. As Terrence Lee reports, their experience reminds us just how important it is to listen when your body speaks up.
I was just feeling really sore, kind of general soreness like you would feel after you work out too hard.
Pain like that usually fades. This did not. It pushed Carly into a Northbrook ER for what she thought would be quick blood work.
They said, nope, we're admitting you to the hospital. And after probably one day, tons of tests, they they pretty much verified that I also had multiple myeloma, and we were like, what?
That shock carried contacts and a lot of it. She was 42, otherwise healthy, with 2 young kids, an active life, and a mom who had just been told the same thing a year earlier.
After the x-ray was taken, they said that that was indicative of multiple myeloma.
About 35,000 Americans hear this each year. Multiple myeloma is a blood cancer that starts in the marrow. It's not common, it rarely runs in families, and most people are diagnosed later in life.
I call it a disease of the Medicare population. So the median age at diagnosis really is right around 65.
Dr. Robert Rifkin treats myeloma across the country. He says it starts in plasma cells that help you fight infection and can lead to weak bones, low energy, and trouble for the kidneys. And the part that shakes so many, there is no known cause or cure. Many live with it long term.
I've been through multiple treatments, and this last one is the one that seems to be doing the trick here, to put me in remission.
Treatments range from targeted therapy, immunotherapy, and chemotherapy. For Carly, it was a stem cell transplant, but relapse is the shadow every patient lives with.
It's always in the forefront of my mind. It never goes away, knowing that I have this.
Don't even think about it. Like,
That's great.
Living my normal life, I really, except for the days when I have to go to get treatment, which is once a month, I know I have it then. The days that I have to refill medication, fine.
What they do think about is each other.
She has more chutzpah than I do. I didn't have any doubts that she was going to get through this. If I could get through it, she more than could get through it.
And their hope. That resilience now lives alongside new options.
I started my fellowship. The median survival was 1.5 years, and now I have many patients over 20 years.
And numbers like that turn fear into faith, and that faith into action, starting with paying attention to your health, a lesson they learn together.
Listen to what these doctors are telling you, and like Carly said, stay positive.
Hold on. I would let me just say, yes, listen to the doctors, but also be an advocate for yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, Dr. Rifkin says most people don't even realize how much simple blood work can actually reveal. So if something in your body feels off, especially for more than a few weeks, make sure you get it checked. You can also learn more through the Multiple Myeloma Research Foundation and the International Myeloma Foundation, both trusted places for symptoms, treatments, and real support. Well, we all know Thanksgiving and football, the two go hand in hand. But did you ever wonder how this all got started? It's a tradition that goes back more than 100 years. We're going to bring you the story.
Coming up, I'm Jake Hamilton. It's Winterland at Gallagher Way. And coming up, we got the mugs. We got the Baileys. We'll tell you everything you need to know to have the best holiday season right here at Wrigley when we come back.
Look forward to that. But first, here's a look at your trip home. Wrigleyville lighting up this season as winter wonderland at Gallagher Way is returning.
Jake shows us what visitors can expect this year.
That's right, guys. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas here at Gallagher Way. We're in the shadow of Wrigley. Take a look around. There are plenty of holiday Christmas activities to keep you busy over the coming weeks. Here to tell us all about it, we got my friend Jordan. Jordan, there is so much going on out here, and it is my favorite cost of all time. It is FREE. Is that right?
Yes, free 99 to come into Winterland and just walk around and enjoy the sights and the sounds. There is, the Chris Kindle Market we've got here, booths and food and holiday shopping available for purchase. You can ride the train in the Wrigley Field Concourse, ice skate on the Gallagher ice rink behind me, but everything else is just free to enjoy and walk around and have a good time.
It's exactly what you want to make of it. If you want to come out here and grab a raclette sandwich or grab some cider, you can do that, but you can also just come out here and enjoy it. I gotta say, something about an ice rink behind us in the shadow of Wrigley. I mean, how many people can say that they have been on ice skates in the shadow of Wrigley Field? This is pretty cool, and this is actually going on a little bit later than the rest of Winterland. Is that right?
Yeah, so Chris Kindle Market will close on December 31st, but the Gallagher Ice Rink here is open until February 15th of next year, and we'll have themed skate nights in the new year. Friday, December 5th at 6 p.m. is our tree lighting ceremony, also free to attend. It's a great opportunity for the community to just come together and really kick off the holidays and kick off Winterland.
Love that. Now, I'm a movie fan. I love watching a great Christmas holiday movie. Is it true you guys are doing some Christmas movies out here?
Yes, we've got select Thursdays in December. We're doing holiday movies. We've got Elf, The Polar Express, and How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Love that. And before we go, obviously some of the most coveted items in Chicago this time of year are those Chris Kindle Market mugs. You guys have them here.
We do. Yeah, we've got the mugs for this year. They change up from year to year, and they run out. So get here early, get your mugs. We've got a couple styles as well for kids. So just a nice commemorative piece to have.
I'm grabbing like 30 of them on the way out. All right, really quick, one more time, give us that website so people can keep up to date on all the latest information.
GallagherWay.com.
Jordan, you rock. All right, guys, I'm going to grab my cameraman, D. I'm going to send him out. Come on, D, just get out on the ice. Here, I got you. As we toss it back to you guys in the studio, get on out there, D. You'll be fine.
Yeah, Jake doesn't want to go.
No, he won't.
Look at that.
Oh, nice
How
shot.
pretty is that? Oh, that's
we can finally see the tops of the buildings.
How about it, huh?
Yeah.
How long will we be able to see them?
Well, we'll be in and out of the cloud cover at times tomorrow, but for the most part, it's going to be fairly cloudy. But tomorrow, it's a whole new ball game. It's going to feel very different. We have so much to cover when it comes to the forecast over the next week or so. And the first thing that we're going to notice is the cold front comes through tonight. Falling temperatures are expected, and then it's going to get very, very windy. So the entire area has a wind advisory going into effect at 3 a.m. That's going to last until 9 p.m. tomorrow for westerly winds as high as 45 to 55 miles per hour. Now, that in combination with scattered snow showers tomorrow could be impacting travelers by reducing visibilities at times when you're caught underneath those snow showers. Now, that's just tonight and tomorrow. Now, let's jump things ahead to the Thanksgiving holiday. Thanksgiving Day itself, things are fine. It's just going to be cold. We have high temperatures that are only expected to be in the low 30s. But then going into the weekend, confidence is really beginning to grow here that we're going to be seeing accumulating snowfall going into your Saturday and Sunday. So for those of you that have travel plans, whether you're going in, out of the area, or possibly just about the region, we could be seeing some travel impacts this weekend as well. And as we know, this is a very, very busy time for travelers because of the Thanksgiving holiday. So this weekend, I'm a little concerned about that system moving through. So accumulating snowfall going to be expected on Saturday, probably into Sunday morning as well. Let's talk temperatures now. Big changes ahead. Tomorrow, that high of 43, I think that's where we're going to be at midnight. But then your high temperatures during the daytime hours are only going to be in the low to mid 30s. And that's where we stay for the next several days, right on through this upcoming weekend. That's running about 10 to 15 degrees below average for this time of the year. And then early next week, It's going to get even colder. We have daytime highs that for some locations may only be in the teens to near 20 degrees by Monday of next week. Satellite and radar, we have showers off to our west. These are going to come through tonight associated with that cold front that brings in that strong wind. So those rain showers, those are going to transition over to snow showers at times tomorrow. But you'll notice here how scattered it's going to be. The best chance of snow looks like it's going to be near and north of I-80 tonight and tomorrow. So a dusting could be possible, but I think the bigger concern really is going to be for the high winds. Again, westerly winds tomorrow as high as about 45 to 55 miles per hour. 7-day forecast tomorrow, 43 dropping into the 30s during the day, 33 on Thanksgiving Day, 31 partly cloudy on Friday. Over the weekend, we have accumulating snowfall possible on Saturday, a rain-snow mix on Sunday. But do you see those high temperatures Monday and Tuesday? Low 20s with possibly single-digit low temperatures. We'll be right back.
Santa's coolest ride is hitting the road today. The Allstate CTA Holiday Bus is back for the 2025 season, rolling out with a new exterior wrap, brighter lights, and a fully decked interior featuring that is Santa and his elves. This bus will be spreading holiday cheer on 19 bus routes this season. The holiday train also returns this Friday, running on 8 rail lines. So what's turkey without football? Well, there may be 3 NFL games this Thanksgiving. And Joe Morgan takes a look at how this holiday tradition kicked off.
The playing of NFL games on Thanksgiving goes back more than 100 years. But the tradition of the Detroit Lions playing on Thanksgiving started in 1934. More than 30 years later, 1966, the Dallas Cowboys joined them, playing in the late afternoon. Flash forward another 40 years to 2006, and the NFL added a third game, played in primetime. Unlike the other games, the primetime matchup has no set teams.
Thanksgiving and football, go back through our lifetimes and through maybe 4 or 5 generations. So it's a very integral part of the day.
Bookies.com senior betting analyst Bill Sparrow says at this point in the season, there's a good sense of who's good and who's not.
We're in week 13 of the NFL season with Thanksgiving. That means the teams that are good are going to be good or getting better. You're seeing the better teams get better at this time of year. Therefore, they're more likely to be the favorites. You're also seeing those better teams are better prepared and they have better planning and better coaching, which gives them an advantage in a short week.
This year's games will include one first-place team and the defending AFC champs. In Los Angeles, Joe Morgan, Fox 32 Chicago.
And here's what's happening on Fox 32 for your Thursday lineup. Our NFL pregame starts at 10 a.m. on Thanksgiving Day. At noon, the Green Bay Packers are at Ford Field facing off against the Detroit Lions. And then after that, we are switching gears to college hoops. At 3:30, it is tip-off time for the Michigan State Spartans and North Carolina Tar Heels. Our 4 and 5 o'clock newscasts will not air. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Thanks for watching the news at 4. Here's the news at 5 with Don and Scott.
Thank you, Sylvia. Now at 5, it is shaping up to be the busiest holiday travel season in 15 years, but a winter storm could lead to long delays.
Cook County's criminal justice system again under fire after the CTA arson attack. The state's attorney's general office arguing it's not on them.
A new bill heading to Capitol Hill after South Suburban woman was forced to leave the hospital in active labor. Thank you for joining us at 5. I'm Dawn Hasbrook.
I'm Scott Schneider. Let's start with the weather because tomorrow's one of the busiest travel days of the year. And Emily, it could be a little choppy out there.
Yeah, in some locations, that's right. So we have scattered snow showers that are going to be around tomorrow, leaving a dusting of snow in a couple spots. But I think the bigger issue is going to be the high wind. So any high-profile vehicles, north-south running roads, you're going to be feeling the effects of that. And then also, if you're trapped underneath one of those snow showers tomorrow, with those winds whipping as high as 45 to 55 miles per hour at times, that's going to result in reduced visibility. So we do have a wind advisory that's going into effect for the entire region tonight at 3 a.m. That's going to last until 9 p.m. tomorrow. And then jumping the clock ahead to Thursday, things are fine for Thanksgiving Day itself. Friday also looks fine, but Friday night into Saturday, we have another storm system that's going to be here, and confidence is growing that we could be dealing with accumulating snowfall going into this upcoming weekend, which of course is a very busy travel weekend as well. I'll have the timing coming up.
Tonight, the community is grieving the loss of 14-year-old Armani Floyd.
He was killed over the weekend during a teen takeover in the Loop. 8 others were injured.
Leslie Moreno spoke to the founder of a nonprofit that aims to keep kids off of city streets. Leslie?
Yeah, Armani joined that nonprofit about 2 years ago. The founder says the entire team is absolutely devastated. He says Armani was a very bright kid who loved to play basketball. Police say Armani was downtown Friday night when a large group of teens gathered here in the Loop. Gunfire broke out near the Chicago Theater, injuring several teens. Less than an hour later, more shots were fired blocks away. That's where Armani was hit. He later died at the hospital. Armani was part of Project Swish, a foundation that utilizes sports to keep kids off the streets. The founder of that program says Armani was a good kid whose life was just getting started.
He was super bright kid. I was watching his father's interview yesterday, and his father mentioned that he had a 3.7, GPA. He was a scholar, very funny, very charismatic, very competitive. Really, really talented basketball player as well. It feels deflating, it almost feels like I created these safe spaces to make sure that this doesn't happen, and kids that are still a part of the program on a regular basis, like they still fall victim to this.
And Nelson says he promised Armani a pair of shoes for Christmas. He plans to keep that promise. In honor of him, he'll be giving every teen that played with Armani at the Nash Community Center a pair of shoes this holiday. Nelson also tells me he has been in touch with some of Armani's family members. It appears that the city is also involved and will be assisting the family with funeral expenses. I also spoke with Armani's father over the phone. He says Armani was just down here with friends to have a good time, and he says what happened here was an absolute tragedy. For now, reporting live here in the Loop, Les Moreno, Fox 32 Chicago.
The deadly teen takeover is renewing a debate. Should parents be charged when their child is involved in a crime? Alderman William Hall says everyone should be looking at solutions to uplift children and teens, not point fingers.
24% of all children in the city are at or beneath poverty, meaning that their parents, guardians, foster parents are making less than $25,000 a year. Let's not forget that 28% of all children that go to Chicago public schools are not housed. So we're trying to monitor the behavior of the poor, and the poverty-stricken neighborhoods is unacceptable.
Alderman Matt O'Shea, however, says he believes parents should be held responsible.
Certainly parents need to be involved in programming because they brought these children into the world and they're not nurturing them, they're not educating them, they're not showing them any love or affection. That's why they're coming downtown armed with handguns and stun guns and haphazardly punching and beating people.
Alderman Hall is introducing a proposal that would force social media platforms to respond when the city flags posts promoting illegal teen gatherings. Another alderman, Brian Hopkins, is once again pushing for a snap curfew.
Morgan Geyser, who was convicted in the Slender Man stabbing about a decade ago, has agreed to waive extradition, meaning she will be moved from Chicago back to Wisconsin. Now, this all began Saturday when she escaped her group home in Madison after cutting off her monitoring bracelet. Police say she, along with another person, 43-year-old Chad Mecca, boarded a Greyhound bus bound for Chicago. They then walked the rest of the way to Posen, some 25 miles south of Chicago. Police got a call about two people loitering at a truck stop. When officers arrived, they saw two people sleeping on the sidewalk.
I did something really wrong.
So Morgan is your first name, right?
Yes.
G-E-Y-S-E-R?
No. Let me say goodbye, please.
Okay, we will.
I will never see her again.
Yeah, you will.
No, I won't.
Officers eventually obtained Geyser's identity through her fingerprints. Back in 2014, she admitted she attempted to kill her classmate to please the fictional character known as Slender Man. She spent 7 years in a psychiatric institute after being found not criminally responsible due to mental illness.
A large settlement in the village of Oak Lawn in a lawsuit brought by a man whose encounter with police was caught on camera. It was brought by Hadi Abutella, who was 17 in July 2022. His arrest video showed officers repeatedly punching him. Oak Lawn police stopped his car, but they say instead of following orders, Abutella fled the scene with a loaded gun and resisted arrest. He filed lawsuits against the officers and the village, claiming more than $1 million in damages. The village board approved a settlement of $825,000. They say it was not because of the merits of the case, though. It was because the village's insurance carrier was pushing for that settlement. The village will pay $250,000. Insurance will pay the rest.
President Trump once again targeting Chicago.
He is hinting at the possibility of bringing in the National Guard after a woman was set on fire on a CTA train last week.
President also taking shots at Mayor Johnson and Governor Pritzker.
A man was arrested 72 times. 72 times. Think of that. And they'll let him out again. The liberal judges will let him out again. But we're ready to go. You know, we've been moving toward Chicago. We could make Chicago a safe city in a period of 4 weeks. In a period of 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks, it would be totally safe. And the people of Chicago want us to go there. The mayor is incompetent, and the governor is a big fat slob. He ought to invite us in, say, please make Chicago safe.
Now, the president isn't the only one criticizing Cook County's criminal justice system.
Some local officials are questioning why the suspect in that case was out on home confinement for previous criminal charges instead of in jail awaiting trial. Political reporter Paris Schatz has more on this budding debate.
Yeah, Dawn and Scott, this all goes back to pretrial detention and judges choosing to put some folks out on electronic monitoring at home instead of in jail. So depending on who you talk to, the county's electronic monitoring program is in crisis right now and undergoing a major transition. It's one of the reasons that CTA arson suspect Lawrence Reed was out awaiting trial for a previous aggravated battery charge. Today, we are learning that county prosecutors forcefully argued that Reed should be in jail, but a judge ordered him into home confinement on the Chief Judge's adult probation program. Now, in an internal memo today, Cook County State's Attorney Eileen O'Neill Burke called the attack a, quote, punch to the gut, and she praised prosecutors who, quote, not only established that the individual was a clear danger to the community, but when the judge denied the petition to detain, she took the mandatory objection language and added a line-by-line summation of why he did present a danger. Now, this is where things get tricky. There's two separate home confinement programs, one run by the Sheriff's Office. According to data, there are nearly 1,200 people on electronic monitoring, including for crimes like attempted murder. 90 as of November this year, 90 people on home monitoring for that. Aggravated gun possession, 92. But as of last April, the sheriff struck an agreement to end his program as in the midst of transitioning it to the Chief Judge's office. And he has complained that he does not have the capability to police when someone violates their ankle monitor. So currently, there are 1,260 offenders under the adult probation program with the Chief Judge, including 208 for aggravated unlawful use of a weapon, 2 for reckless homicide, and 11 people just on curfew that are free to roam around during the day, 11 who are charged with attempted murder. Now, under the Chief Judge, offenders, as I said, they just have to be home by curfew. The sheriff's program is where they cannot leave their home and they can't take their ankle monitor off. The Sheriff Dart has long complained he cannot administer the program anymore because there are too many violent offenders, he says. Now, another note, on December 1st, a new Chief Judge takes over in Cook County. His name is Charles Beach. Tim Evans' long term ends, and this new Chief Judge, one of the first issues he'll have to deal with is this chaos with the electronic monitoring. Scott?
All right, Paris, thank you for that. Well, a viral video is now prompting change on Capitol Hill.
It's a story Fox 32 has been closely following. A Dalton woman turned away from a hospital while in active labor. Mercedes Wells gave birth to her 4th child minutes after leaving the hospital in her truck on the side of the road with just her husband by her side. Well, today, she has Illinois Congresswoman Robin Kelly standing with her announcing the Wells Act.
The Wells Act aims to address systemic issues around maternal care, racial disparities, and hospital accountability.
Kelly's bill would require any hospital that provides obstetric, emergency, or labor and delivery services to have a plan before discharging a patient who presents signs or symptoms of labor. The Wells Act also mandates racial bias training for healthcare professionals.
After being kicked out of the hospital, begging to stay but still being pushed away was hurtful, disgraceful. I felt unheard. I felt ignored. I felt treated less than human.
It's clear that Mercedes' story isn't an isolated incident. This is not a Franciscan health problem, but rather a systemic issue. Our healthcare system is broken. Black women across the country are suffering and dying.
Franciscan Health has fired a doctor and nurse who were involved with her discharge. As for baby Alina, she is doing fine. Still ahead on the news at 5, a teenager who works at a Chili's says she was violently attacked inside the restaurant.
Plus, the White House has been looking to get Russia and Ukraine on board with a new peace plan, and now there may just be a breakthrough.
Plus, we are live as a major winter storm threatens travel delays for millions of people.
Fox 32.
Well, of course, today begins the busy Thanksgiving travel season. In fact, the FAA predicts it's going to be the busiest Thanksgiving weekend in 15 years. The Chicago Department of Aviation expecting some 2 million passengers to travel through both Midway and O'Hare. Travelers should expect flights to return back to normal despite the government shutdown earlier this month. American Airlines offering more than 5,000 flights from O'Hare to accommodate Thanksgiving travelers. That's nearly 40% more than last year. Sunday expected to be the airline's busiest travel day at O'Hare with more than 500 departures. More late-night flights are going to be added to help folks get back home before they go to work on Monday.
Well, across the country, more than 52,000 flights are expected to take off today.
Kaylee Schuyler joining us live from Boston's Logan International. So, Kaylee, what are you seeing out there?
Hey, Scott and Don. Well, today has actually been really surprising. There have been times where I feel like I need to whisper here in the airport. It has been that quiet. But what I've started to see over the last hour, it seems like a lot of people still went to work today, and now they're flying out this evening. So things have started to pick up here within the last hour, but there's still short lines to check bags, short lines at security. So things have been really good here so far today. But nationwide, what we're seeing right now are there are more than 3,500 delays and around 84 cancellations, according to FlightAware. And TSA says they are going to screen 18 million people starting today through next Tuesday. But travelers here at Boston say so far smooth sailing.
We've already got like a 10-minute delay, which, I mean, all things being equal, that's fine with me.
It was actually very, very smooth. We went through security in like 5 minutes and everything was on time.
The FAA predicts this week could be the busiest Thanksgiving travel period in 15 years, with more than 360,000 flights scheduled to take off through December 2nd. And just today, it's expected to peak at more than 52,000 flights. Now, severe weather across the country could shake things up a bit, and it already did this morning in Atlanta after a thunderstorm hit the area. But thick fog, flooding rain, high winds, and even a blizzard in the Great Lakes region are in the forecast across the country. But Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says flyers shouldn't anticipate extreme delays due to air traffic control staffing issues. He says towers are still understaffed, but back to pre-government shutdown levels.
If you can still get a ticket and you can still fly and your family still wants to see you, book that ticket, jump on a flight, and don't be afraid to fly this season. It's, again, I can't control the weather. I can't control the mechanics of an airplane, but things look good from the air traffic control side. We are back to staffing levels that we had before the shutdown, I believe.
As for post-Thanksgiving travel, TSA is expecting Sunday to be one of the busiest travel days in history. At Logan International Airport, Kaylee Schuyler, Fox 32 Chicago.
U.S. and Russian officials met earlier today as a peace deal to end the war in Ukraine continues to take shape. The Ukrainians are reportedly ready to sign a peace agreement, but as Caroline Shively reports, Russia has launched a massive, deadly attack overnight.
A U.S. official says Ukraine has signed on to an American-backed peace plan. But the same can't be said for Russian President Vladimir Putin, who sent 22 missiles and 460 drones into Kyiv overnight, killing at least 7 people.
Does he actually want to end this war, or is he going to continue to kill as many people as necessary until he can conquer Ukraine and drag it back under the Kremlin?
Ukraine, meanwhile, launched an attack that killed 3 in southern Russia.
It doesn't seem like we're getting anywhere very quickly. In fact, maybe going backwards.
Critics said the initial 28-point plan presented by the U.S. heavily favored Russia. But a U.S. official tells Fox, after some fine-tuning, the Ukrainians are on board, with minor details to be sorted out.
I think they're just going to squabble about where the ceasefire line is. But I think this time Trump's going to get a peace deal.
Russia reportedly liked the original plan, and it could be hard to convince Putin to accept the Ukrainian negotiated changes. Army Secretary Dan Driscoll met with the Russian delegation in Abu Dhabi Tuesday as U.S. negotiators try to convince their counterparts to end the nearly 4-year war.
Unless Europe and the United States decide to, take a different tack, this is where we end up, is negotiating a peace deal from the reality.
A Ukrainian official says Volodymyr Zelensky will soon head to the U.S. to finalize a deal directly with President Trump. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox 32, Chicago.
4 people are suing a Batavia chiropractor accused of secretly recording patients. The lawsuit names David Hansen and Hansen Family Chiropractic as defendants. Investigators say Hansen hid cameras throughout his office, even in a room where people undressed. They say he filmed more than 180 people, including children. The 4 people suing are members of the same family. Hansen is already facing child pornography charges. One of the attorneys of the family suing talked about how this has affected them.
Our clients are distressed, disgusted, and deeply disturbed that a predator may have violated them without their knowledge and without their consent.
Hansen remains behind bars without bond. The Archdiocese of Chicago is under scrutiny as new allegations are coming to light in court. 3 new lawsuits accuse the church of acting as a predator pipeline and covering for 2 local priests despite past claims of abuse. The victims allege that Father Daniel Mark Holohan and Father John William Curran groomed them through extra attention and private meetings when they were students in the 80s. They say it ultimately led to repeated sexual abuse. At the time, the victims attended Quigley Preparatory Seminary and St. Christina Catholic School. Court documents also claim they found out later that credible allegations of prior abuse were documented within the Archdiocese.
There is evidence that Father Holohan and Father Curran, the Catholic Church, knew they were abusing children. And one piece of this evidence is that, for example, Father Holohan was assigned to 11 different parishes. Most priests are assigned to a parish for 5 to 7 years, and then they're up for review. Father Holohan was at some assignments for less than a year before he was reassigned. And Father Curran as well. Father Curran had 8 different assignments.
In a statement, the Archdiocese did not confirm or deny those allegations. It simply said they can't comment on pending legal cases and confirmed that both priests are no longer living. Cook County unveiling major upgrades to the Park Forest firefighter training site. Board President Tony Preckwinkle and Congresswoman Robin Kelly were there for the ribbon cutting this morning. The training site got a new water main along with upgrades to the outside and inside of the building. The money came from the Build Up Cook program. The Park Forest Fire Chief says the upgrades give firefighters state-of-the-art training.
Our dream is to provide an exceptional training environment for not only the Southland but the Chicagoland region. There is no doubt in my mind that this facility will help accomplish our goals while providing better trained firefighters to the Southland region.
$500,000 was allocated for that project. The county says the upgrades came in under budget. All right, let's talk other numbers and check in with Chief Meteorologist Emily Walls. This is a live, beautiful look outside. So, yes, I was trying to rack your brain about the snow. So tell us more.
Yes, so we have a lot to break down here. We have accumulating snowfall as a possibility going into this weekend, especially on Saturday, and then possibly transitioning over to a rain-snow mixture going into your Sunday. So that alone is going to be creating some travel impacts going into the holiday traveling weekend. But then before we can get to Saturday and Sunday, we still have a cold front to move through. So the future cast here, what I want you to pay attention to is this brighter shade of blue that you see off to our northwest. That's much colder air that's going to be moving into the region late tonight into tomorrow. So temperatures are going to be dropping down into the 30s for your daytime highs tomorrow. And wind chill temperatures, because it's going to be very, very windy, are only going to be in the upper teens to low 20s. So it's going to feel very different tomorrow in comparison to what we had today. And then that cold air, that's sticking around, not just for Thanksgiving, but through Friday, this weekend, and then even into early next week. As it stands right now, it's really not too bad out. We're in the upper 40s to low 50s. But again, that cold front, that's going to come through tonight, starting off with rain showers. Then those rain showers are going to transition to snow showers, and our westerly winds are going to be ramping up to as high as 45 to 55 miles per hour. Falling temperatures tomorrow, dry skies Thursday and Friday. Then this weekend, we have that chance of accumulating snowfall with highs right around 32. We'll be right back.
We've got new video to show you tonight. The damage a tornado left behind after tearing through an area outside Houston.
The storm left trees scattered across streets and roofs and shingles ripped from homes. Officials say more than 100 homes were damaged. At this time, no major injuries have been reported.
Controversy at Campbell's Soup tonight. A vice president reportedly making offensive comments about the company's food, its customers, even employees. That exec was secretly recorded during a meeting, and according to a new lawsuit filed in Michigan, filed by a former employee who said he was fired after he reported the conversation to his own supervisor. A spokesperson for the company says that executive has since been placed on leave while they conduct an internal investigation.
An update to a recall. Tests of ByHeart's baby formula, which is linked to a botulism outbreak, shows all of the company's products may have been contaminated. At least 31 babies in 15 states, including here in Illinois, have been sickened by the outbreak. ByHeart has recalled all of its products, but the USDA warns some are still on store shelves.
This one's making national news. San Diego Zoo saying bye to its eldest resident, Grandma, the Galapagos tortoise, believed to have lived for 141 years, has died. She was known as the Queen of the Zoo. She arrived nearly a century ago, lived through some 20 presidents, 2 world wars, 2 pandemics. The zoo honoring her memory online by encouraging people to enjoy her favorite treat, a fruit-filled salad. The oldest known Galapagos tortoise was named Harriet, who lived to 175.
Want to give us a gobble?
That's Waddle, one of 2 birds pardoned by President Trump. His friend Gobble is officially this year's national turkey, but Waddle is ready to step in if Gobble can't fulfill his duties. Waddle was raised on a farm in North Carolina. The 50-pound bird will retire after Thanksgiving and head to North Carolina State University, where he will act as a turkey ambassador.
Okay, so yeah, the Lions pulled off a thrilling comeback against the Giants Sunday, whatever. This was what was really fun at Ford Field. It was the Corgi Cup. Yeah, 12 pups competing in the race, and they were fast. They sprinted 40 yards, and this was a nail-biter. Grizzly won it by the tip of a nose over Tito. But one dog who was the real star was Sadie Mae. And that's Sadie with her little wheels attached to her. She was roared on by the fans at Ford Field. She has since received loads of love online.
Still ahead on the news at 5, a new major exhibition is open at the DuSable Black History Museum.
It showcases the global journeys of Black American artists.
I'm Cassie Carlson. Declan Doyle called Vic Fangio's Philly defense the antithesis of what the Bears try to do on offense, while the Bears defense will have to be on their P's and Q's against Saquon Barkley and Philly's offense. We have all the details later in sports.
The holiday
Now at the bottom of the hour, the snow could return by the end of the week, maybe even tonight.
A rare cancer hitting both mother and daughter. However, there is a new treatment that's offering them hope.
First, a restaurant greeter in Chicago attacked, and it was all caught on camera.
That 19-year-old says she was just following company policy.
Common courtesy left her punched, kicked, and hair ripped from her scalp, she says. Tia Ewing has the story you'll only see on Fox 32 Chicago.
Common courtesy from a greeter inside this Chili's is what set this entire incident in motion.
They're hitting me in my head, they're hitting me in my body, they're hitting me everywhere.
It started last week when a group known only as J Party of 6 didn't like the wait time.
Get sad, I said it's going to be another 30 minutes. They were upset. They started yelling. They were like 30 minutes and like just being aggressive.
As they walked out, Brianna Drew said the same line she gives every customer.
They decided they were going to leave. I was like, all right, you all enjoy the rest of your day. And they assumed that I was being sarcastic and trying to like play with them. But I was just, that's brand standard.
But Fox Chicago obtained video showing what happened next. A brutal beating inside the Chili's at Marshville Plaza, located in the 1700 block of West 119th Street.
The rest of her party, they came rushing back in the restaurant, and they all kind of just attacked me.
The 19-year-old single mother was first hit by a woman, and then a man joined in.
What do you see when you look at this?
Chaos. It was a lot. I don't even remember all of this happening.
Chicago police were called, but by the time officers arrived, the attackers were gone. The damage, physical and emotional, is not.
Because my head was so sore, I couldn't touch it to take out my hair. And then I have more back here.
Drew has worked at this location for 2 years. She's been off the job for a week, trying to process what happened, and says Chili's needs to add security.
I just want to know, how will they move forward? How will they fix that? How will they avoid that happening again?
We reached out to Chili's for a comment, and so far, we haven't heard back. As for Drew, she's bruised but not broken.
At no point did I threaten anyone. At no point did I say that I was going to do anything. I was quiet. They could have just left, but they came. They all decided to come back in and attack me.
And says she did nothing wrong and wants J Party of 6 to be arrested and charged.
I can't believe that something like this happened to me, because if you ask anybody, I'm nice. Everybody says I'm nice. The regulars, they love me.
As for Brianna Drew, she says that Chili's is conducting their own investigation, and Chicago police are too. From Morgan Park, Tia Ewing, Fox 32 Chicago.
Now to a big donation to help address hunger in our communities. Today, the owner and operator of Chick-fil-A in the South Loop presented a $25,000 check to the Greater Chicago Food Depository. The pantry says this timing is key due to the recent pause in SNAP benefits and also to rising costs.
Everything is more expensive for our families right now. Grocery costs are going up, rent is going up, and the dollar just isn't going as far. And that's why we're so grateful to have partners to help us stand with those families.
The Chick-fil-A owner also making a $25,000 donation to the Northern Illinois Food Bank.
A new exhibit at the DuSable Museum is exploring the lives and work of Black American artists in the early 20th century. Paris in Black includes more than 100 pieces created by Black writers and artists. They went to Paris to escape racism and gain more creative freedom. The exhibit displays work from artists who impacted the jazz age and civil rights movement, including Archibald Motley and Josephine Baker. Museum president and CEO Perry Eimer says most of the art is part of the museum's permanent collection.
I really hope that folks will come out and understand what a treasure we have in the DuSable Museum right here in Chicago.
You can find tickets for the exhibit on the DuSable Museum's website.
All right, so this is literally, Emily, the calm before the storm.
That's right. We're tracking that storm system that is just off to our west. Cold front's going to come through, and we're going to know it when it does. So you see those rain showers off to our west? That's going to move through. And then the cold air behind that, you can see those wraparound snow showers associated with this low. That's how cold the air is going to get. So our rain showers tonight will transition over to scattered snow showers. And then we're going to be stuck with scattered snow showers through the day tomorrow, which is not a good thing for those of you that have some travel plans, because on top of the snow shower activity, especially near and north of I-80, where the best chance of that is, we could be dealing with reduced visibilities because of high winds and those snow showers at the same time. So we do have a wind advisory that's going into effect at 3 a.m. for the entire region, lasting until 9 p.m. tomorrow for wind gusts as high as 45 to 55 miles per hour. So very gusty conditions tomorrow for those of you that drive high-profile vehicles. If you're traveling along a north-south running road tomorrow, you're probably going to feel the effects of that wind kind of throwing you around a little bit. Forecast low temperatures tonight. We're dropping down to the low to mid 30s, and then we stay there throughout the day tomorrow. So that high of 43 that I have on Wednesday, that's actually where we're going to be at midnight. And then your daytime temperatures are only going to be in the low to mid 30s. Scattered snow showers, very windy. Thursday and Friday, we're still going to be breezy, and it stays cold. We have highs only in the low 30s, but then accumulating snowfall is expected this weekend. More on that to come. Back to you.
2 generations, 1 rare cancer, and the fight they're taking on together.
We will introduce you to mother and daughter diagnosed within a year of each other.
So a mother and daughter shrugged off everyday aches until that pain pointed to something unexpected.
As Terrence Lee reports, their experience reminds us how important it is to listen when your body speaks up.
I was just feeling really sore, kind of general soreness like you would feel after you work out too hard.
Pain like that usually fades. This did not. It pushed Carly into a Northbrook ER for what she thought would be quick blood work.
They said, nope, we're admitting you to the hospital. And after probably one day, tons of tests, they pretty much verified that I also had multiple myeloma. And we were like, what?
That shock carried contacts, and a lot of it. She was 42, otherwise healthy, with 2 young kids, an active life, and a mom who had just been told the same thing a year earlier.
After the x-ray was taken, they said,
that was indicative of multiple myeloma.
About 35,000 Americans hear this each year. Multiple myeloma is a blood cancer that starts in the marrow. It's not common, it rarely runs in families, and most people are diagnosed later in life.
I call it a disease of the Medicare population. So the median age at diagnosis really is right around 65.
Dr. Robert Rifkin treats myeloma across the country. He says it starts in plasma cells that help you fight infection and can lead to weak bones, low energy, and trouble for the kidneys. And the part that shakes so many, there is no known cause or cure. Many live with it long term.
I've been through multiple treatments, and this last one is the one that seems to be doing the trick here, to put me in remission.
Treatments range from targeted therapy, immunotherapy, and chemotherapy. For Carly, it was a stem cell transplant, but relapse is the shadow every patient lives with.
It's always in the forefront of my mind. It never goes away, knowing that I have this.
Don't even think about it.
That's great.
Living my normal life. I really, except for the days when I have to go to get treatment, which is once a month, I know I have it then. The days that I have to refill medication, fine.
What they do think about is each other.
She has more chutzpah than I do. I didn't have any doubts that she was going to get through this. If I could get through it, she more than could get through it.
And their hope. That resilience now lives alongside new options.
I started my fellowship. The median survival was 1.5 years, and now I have many patients over 20 years.
And numbers like that turn fear into faith, and that faith into action, starting with paying attention to your health, a lesson they learn together.
Listen to what these doctors are telling you, and like Carly said, stay positive.
Hold on. I would, let me just say, yes, listen to the doctors, but also be an advocate for yourself.
The doctor says most people don't realize how much simple blood work can reveal. If something in your body feels off, especially for more than a few weeks, get it checked. You can also learn more through the Multiple Myeloma Research Foundation and the International Myeloma Foundation, both trusted places for symptoms, treatments, and real support.
Be your own advocates. All right, so rain and fog out there right now, but it's looking more and more like it's turning to snow.
Emily's tracking the cool down and her full forecast after the break.
I'm Luke Cadellis. Bears went through a walkthrough today, but still delivered a new injury report. We'll tell you if it's looking good for Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon to play against the Eagles. And Philadelphia's defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio, had high praise for that Ben Johnson offense. We'll hear from Caleb Williams next in sports.
Emily, are you catching it because of the snow this week?
Yes. So we have so much to cover when it comes to this forecast.
Okay.
We have high winds, we have cold weather, we have snow, rain, some of that too. So everything is going to be in the mix. But let's try and do this in somewhat of an order here. First and foremost, we have a cold front that's coming through tonight. That's going to bring in some scattered rain showers, and then it's going to get very windy. Once that wind kicks up out of the west, that's bringing in a much colder air mass, so that's going to make those rain showers transition over into snow showers. The entire region has a wind advisory that's going into effect at 3 a.m., lasting until 9 p.m. tomorrow for westerly winds gusting as high as 45 to 55 miles per hour. So you combine those high winds with scattered snow showers, and we could be dealing with reduced visibilities for those of you that do have to hit the roads on Wednesday. So kind of build that in, that you may have some delays there because of reduced visibilities. Now, Futurecast, we're going to jump the clock ahead here to Thursday. Thursday is Thanksgiving, of course, and notice dry skies. So we're in good shape on that front here, but it's still going to be very cold. We have low 30s for your highs on Thursday, same thing on Friday. And then comes the weekend. So we've been eyeing up this storm system for the last several days. Now there's starting to be a little more confidence here that we're going to be seeing accumulating snowfall going into this weekend. And as we know, a lot of folks are traveling this weekend, still coming in out of the area, whether you're driving, whether you're flying. We're going to be seeing some impacts because of this. Now, snow totals, this is still too far out to talk about that, but at this point, it does look like it's going to be an impactful snowfall, so we can get behind that messaging there for Saturday into Sunday. Just be aware if you have travel plans that you could be running into some hiccups there. Satellite and radar right now, we do have showers well to our west. This is all going to move through tonight. These are fast-moving showers coming along with that cold front. So once that frontal boundary moves through, that cold air is going to come rushing in. We have those strong westerly winds. Remember that wind advisory, that's going into effect at 3 a.m. for those strong westerly winds. Then we're going to get cold enough to where we have scattered snow showers, especially near and north of I-80. So that could be reducing visibilities for those of you that have travel plans on Wednesday. Then by Thursday, remember, that's when we're going to begin to dry things out, but it's still going to be very cold for your Thanksgiving. High temperatures are only going to be in the low 30s. Same thing on Friday. Saturday, we have that accumulating snowfall forecast. 32 degrees for your high this weekend. And then early next week, do you see those low temperatures? Single digits going to be possible by Tuesday morning, with high temperatures possibly struggling to reach 20.
Bears with the short week for their biggest challenge yet. Black Friday meetup with the defending Super Bowl champs. Dallas took advantage of that Eagles defense in their 21-point comeback. Bears will have it tough against the NFL's stingiest defense against the pass. Cassie Carlson has the story from Hallis Hall.
A lot can change in a year. At this time last year, the Bears were on the brink of firing Matt Eberflus after a Thanksgiving meltdown. And now after hiring Ben Johnson, they are 8-3, sitting at the top of the NFC North.
At that point last year, definitely couldn't see this far, for sure. Obviously, a lot of things has transpired. One of those scenarios where, you face all that adversity and to come out on the other side of it feels very good.
That belief becomes contagious. That's something that Ben has provided in us, and the other coaches have provided in us. And instilled in us is that belief.
The last time the Bears started 8-3 was in 2018. That season, the Bears had a top 3 defense under then defensive coordinator Vic Fangio, who now leads the Eagles defense, providing plenty of challenges for the Bears walking into Philly.
He limits explosive plays. He has a great D line, so that limits run games. You got to get more double teams on their D lines, which means it allows their backers to be a little bit more free. And then they got explosive players in the secondary.
They force you to try to run the ball, and their whole goal is to eliminate explosives. And our goal offensively when we go in is really to be explosive. And so they've kind of modeled their defense to be the antithesis of what we're trying to get done.
The Bears defense will have to stop Saquon Barkley, who isn't having the MVP level season he was having a year ago, but can still burn a defense.
Every time he touches the ball, he's a threat to go all the way. When you talk about game plan against a team like that, I think he's definitely priority number one to stop him. And then you talk about AJ and Smitty. AJ still that guy.
When it comes to stopping the Eagles' tush-push, Dennis Allen said they have a plan in place. Now, the Bears only held a walkthrough on Tuesday where Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon were full participants, but TJ Edwards, Noah Sewell, Ruben Hippolyte, and Tyreek Stevenson did not practice. At Hallis Hall, Cassie Carlson, Fox 32 Sports.
All right, thanks, Cassie. We are all over the Bears and Eagles Friday here on Fox 32 Chicago. Coverage begins at noon. We'll carry the game. We'll hear from Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams after the game. And before the Bears and Eagles square off, the First and North crew broke down a Thanksgiving serving of Packers Lions. Packers haven't swept the Lions in a season series since 2020. Give me 20 seconds on why it's going to happen Thursday.
It's going to happen Thursday because of the pass rush from the Packers. They are relentless right now, and they have figured out how to get to Jared Goff and make him uncomfortable. I think that is where the difference is going to be.
All right, Jennifer, why are the Lions going to win this game against the Pack?
Well, I think if they can lean on that rush game, they absolutely have a chance, but they've also got to open up the passing game because play action is the way the Lions offense gets it done. They have got to protect Goff. That is job one. They could also probably use some takeaways on defense.
Plenty more coming up tonight on First and North. We'll look ahead to the Thanksgiving and Black Friday games. Top three teams in the NFC North separated by just one game. That's after the news at 9 here on Fox 32 Chicago. How about afternoon college basketball? Notre Dame at Rutgers, second half, Irish up 10. Marcus Burton, watch him here, get right to the rim. Tough lay-in and foul. Burton with a team-high 21 points. Notre Dame wins 68-63. They're 5-2. Loyola lost its sixth in a row. What is going on with the Ramblers? 72-51 to Northern Iowa. Cubs made it official today. They have signed pitcher Phil Maton to a 2-year deal with a team option for 2028. Notre Dame running back Jeremiah Love, a finalist now for the Maxwell Award for Most Outstanding Player and the Doak Walker Award for top running back in the country. We'll be right back.
Okay, so a young basketball fan in Phoenix has gone viral for cuteness. He has been dubbed the Popcorn Kid, and apparently he knows he's a star.
This was 3-year-old Sterling's first taste of fame. He brought smiles to the crowd when he was spotted on the Jumbotron enjoying his big bucket of popcorn. See him there? Well, Sterling and his family were spotted again, and he was enjoying his popcorn as usual. But this time, instead of that adorable wave, Sterling gave the audience a wink. And of course, the crowd went nuts.
Nice.
The Suns organization has embraced the viral moment, giving the boy and his family a VIP experience, including meeting players during warm-ups and giving Sterling a Devin Booker jersey.
Oh, nice.
So cute.
That he knew to wink is hilarious.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Where did he learn that from?
I don't know. Mom or dad.
So cute. All right, let's talk about the forecast. It's not full of good news, but it's full of a lot of news. So tonight we have a cold front moving through. That 43 that you see on Wednesday, that's where we're going to be at midnight. Daytime temps are going to be in the 30s, wind chills in the upper teens and low 20s, scattered snow showers. We also have a wind advisory, wind gusts as high as 45 to 55 miles per hour tomorrow. So again, wind chills upper teens to low 20s tomorrow. Thursday and Friday, dry skies if you're traveling. But this weekend, I think we're going to have some headaches for those of you that are traveling because we have accumulating snowfall in the forecast. And at this point, it's looking like it could be enough snow to where it's causing, again, some headaches.
This
some
is
plows. The plow companies might be happy.
This is not welcoming for visitors who are coming here for the first time.
Welcome.
What is that? 7?
It's a taste of Chicago, I guess.
7? We're out of time. Thanks for joining us at 5.
Now you can stream us on your smart TV with Fox Local.
We're on the streaming platforms.
We'll see you tonight at 9.
It's time.